Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sideline Eye podcast. We're looking forward to the Armagh ladies heading to Croker Park this weekend as they take on Kerry in the Division 2 National League final. As always, this podcast is brought to you in association with McKeever's Teamwear, proud suppliers of all Armagh GA merchandise. I'm delighted to welcome on Kiva Morgan as she's going to help me look forward to the big game coming up on Sunday. Kiva, a big game. There's a lot of buzz around Armagh at the minute. We spoke a number of weeks ago that Armagh were on top of the tables in nearly all codes, but only one reached the league final. The hurlers reached the league final, of course, as well, but they were defeated last weekend. But Armagh have a real chance this weekend, and there's a real buzz. All the clubs taking buses and not going to Croker Park. I suppose Croker Park, we'll get on to that in a second, but great for Armagh to be in a league final.
Fantastic for Armagh. You know, Armagh ladies have been working towards this, I suppose, for the last couple of years, and there's great things going on in Armagh. It just feels like it's all coming together. Teaching in St. Catherine's, you know, I have loads of the students coming to me saying, Miss, can't wait to go to the match, and our club's got a bus, and Translink are running the rail service. So, yeah, look, you know, it's fantastic. And the fact that, you know, you have the Grange and Mullabrack playing at half time, and it's just a real collective around the whole of Armagh. So it's fantastic buzz, yeah.
And obviously, the buzz of getting the league final, but the biggest prize and offer is obviously promotion. They want to be. We spoke earlier on a couple of months ago on the podcast about how important it was for promotion for this team, and obviously, if you want to push on and hopefully, you know, get All Ireland titles and compete for All Ireland titles, you have to be up in that top tier. So that's the biggest prize, I suppose, for the Armagh players. Everything else is just background noise that they're focused. They're going to want to get into that top tier.
Yeah, look, you know, it's been the aim for the last couple of years. And as you say, the girls are very, very focused on the task at hand. Look, I've suppose give off is the words I'd use about the National League structure over the last couple of years. Armagh have been playing the same teams over and over again. And, you know, it's not productive. So I think, you know, if Armagh can get into Division 1, I don't know what they'll plan to do with the leagues next year. But when you want to be contesting for senior championship titles, you know, Armagh have been getting to semi-final stage and just haven't been able to push it on. And I think if they're consistently playing in Division 1, Sean, it'll help them because, you know, they'll play maybe a different brand of football. They'll, you know, maybe, you know, change their systems to play a little bit more to play those teams. And then when they meet them in the championship, that it's not maybe so alien to them. So in terms of progression, Division 1 is where Armagh need to be. And I fully believe it's where they deserve to be. And just hoping that all goes well on Sunday, that's where, you know, the end result will be.
And do you think, has that been the stumbling block even the last year or two, why Armagh haven't reached, you know, the All-Ireland final or got, you know, winning them national titles, is because they're playing Division 2, and when you get to the championship, it's a completely different standard that they're not used to?
Yeah, I do think that's a big part to play in it. Look, I know Armagh have been building a squad over the last couple of years as well, and suppose the couple of years that we've had, it's been difficult, you know, to really assess it. But I think in terms of progression, you know, the standard of football in Division 1 is better. There's no doubt about it. And you can see those teams that are progressing are all playing in Division 1 because they're playing each other. And, you know, there's maybe tougher contests in Division 1. And like Armagh in Division 2 are way ahead of the game, you know, and I just, fingers crossed, you know, they get their just reward on Sunday. Kerry will be no mean feat now. I know I'm not writing it off, but in terms of championship progression, you know, Armagh will be thinking about that in the back of their heads and, you know, wanting to progress Armagh. And that's what Armagh's all about at the minute, you know, progressing the team, progressing, you know, the youth, and hopefully it'll come to fruition.
I think Armagh have already showed that this year that, well, we don't want to say too much in case we jinx Sunday, but yeah, they're way ahead Division 2. You know, the semi-final showed that 7-18 to 1-9 against Laois. Like, no, neither team's learning anything or taking anything from that. Like, it was a complete walkover. And Armagh, as you say, they deserve to be a Division 1 team. They're good enough to be a Division 1 team, and they've clearly shown that they're apart from Kerry, we'll wait to see what happens Sunday, they're too good for Division 2.
Yeah, look, it's all well and good us saying this, Sean. Like, and I've been there before when, you know, back in 2014, 2015, even 2013, you know, we kept getting beat by a point or 2 points with Armagh, and it became a culture thing, and it was a very hard mindset to get out of. You know, it took us to 2014 and 15 to get out of Division 3 and then get out of Division 2. So it's all right us saying all of that, and the recipe's all there and the players are there and everything's going really, really well, but it's down to the girls to do that on Sunday. And you know, look, I know the girls are just wanting the whistle to be blown because there's an awful lot of stuff going on in the background, and yes, it is background noise, but you do hear a little bit of it, and sometimes it can affect as well. Like, Kerry are a great team. having played them in the past, Armagh struggle sometimes against them. They're physical girls. They have a tall midfield. They have a really good middle eight. They're very athletic. And look, I know Armagh have their homework done on this, and it's all right us saying, yeah, Armagh deserve to be out of Division 2, but you still have to produce the goods on Sunday. They're going to have to do the work. I don't think it'll be as an easy a game as what maybe the rest their side of Division 2 has been. I was very impressed, as I had said before. I just thought Armagh weren't convincingly enough beating, Monaghan, Cavan and Tyrone. I really wanted them to hammer people, and look, Laois just, the football that they played was, a really lovely brand of football. They just were very clinical. They had a job to do. And I think they were setting down a marker to show Kerry, well, look, we have this in our arsenal. So, look, in terms of the recipe for the game on Sunday, Kerry will have worked very, very hard, and they'll know Armagh inside out, and they'll be playing on the back of the we've played them so many times, and we've come the better of them. So it'll be interesting to see just, how Armagh deal with players like Louise Di Murahurtu, who is fantastic, top scorer for them. I presume Armagh will probably do a woman marking job on her. I would probably think Clodagh McCambridge would be the girl for that. She's a great experienced player for Armagh now, a fantastic full-back. She's marked her before, I think, so, she'll have all of that in her mindset, and psychologically, I think she'll be very up for the challenge. So it'll be interesting to see also how they deal with Amy Mackin on the other hand. So it'll be an interesting contest there.
And just on Kerry then, Kiva was doing a bit of research before we've come live here. Armagh have met Kerry. The last 5 times they've met, Kerry have won all 5, and they beat Armagh in the semi-final in 2019 in the Division 2 semi-final. So history's on Kerry's side, recent history and recent form is on Kerry's side. For a player, what is that like heading into a game? Do Armagh care that they haven't beaten Kerry recently, or is it just all on the day? It's they're concentrating on the match rather than what has happened in the past?
Well, there's been a good bit of turnover within Armagh, so there'll be players there that probably have never played Kerry before and don't really know much about them. And Armagh will just focus on themselves. Kerry will obviously be bigging up that point, the fact that they have beat, Armagh on the last 5 occasions, but Armagh will just focus on their own game plan. They'll have their homework done. They'll not get too bogged down in this, and I've talked about this before. Every team picks out the positives for them, and you downplay the negatives. So that's the way you tend to progress with it. Because you're looking to go forward and focus on all your positives. So, as I've said, look, I never liked playing Kerry because I just thought they were so physical, and where Armagh can be physical, I understand that, but they just play a brand of football that is very, very hard hitting. And it depends. It'll also depend on the referee on the day as well. But the fact that it's on TV and the fact that it's in Croke Park, you'd hope that it's a good fair affair, and that justice will win out on the day, and that in terms of that. But their midfield, they had Lorraine Scanlon went into midfield against Monaghan the last day, and Anna Galvin, who's their captain. They are very, very good midfielders. They're strong, they're tall. So in terms of Armagh's kick out, maybe I'm sure they will have worked on this to try and keep it away maybe from the midfield. They might try a different few options. Like Anna Carr has been fantastic for Armagh this year. And I mean, she'll know what she's at and where to keep the ball away from and things like that. Croke Park's a massive pitch, so they'll exploit that, I'm sure. But in terms of Kerry, the fact that maybe a lot of them girls haven't played against them, it'll probably not worry them that much.
And just on the midfield thing, in Armagh have loads of midfield options of Niamh Coleman, Niamh Marley, Caroline O'Hanlon can play out there. But I just want to focus on Blaine Mackin because a couple of years ago when Amy was out with her, after doing her cruciate, Blaine sort of took on the star forward role in the full forward line. Then when they got to the semi-final in 2020, she was centre half back. Now she's midfield. She can combine the both roles. Is that her best position, do you feel, Kiva? Is she better in midfield, or where would you like to see her?
Well, I think in terms of what you're saying there, Sean, the fact that she has played nearly everywhere has led to this, star performing role in midfield. That's the mark of the player in Blaine. Blaine would do anything for Armagh. She'll play anywhere. She'll adapt to many different roles. But she has such a great engine. She's a fantastic link player. And I just love the way she distributes the ball into the forward line, mostly to Amy, I suppose. And the two of them are so connected and know each other so well. But I think they found the best position for her. She's very creative as well. And you need that in a midfielder. There's times where you'll see her in her full back line and then you'll see her up scoring a goal. So, I mean, that's your dream midfielder. You know, and Blahin has worked really, really hard to get to that position, you know, to make that position her own. And it would be nice to see her stay there in terms of, you know, the progression of Armagh and where they're going. And Blahin's a good vocal leader on the pitch as well. So in terms of the full package, I think she's, you know, pretty much nearly there, yeah.
And that link-up play with Amy is obviously crucial as well. Amy, Armagh's top scorer, obviously. Blahin playing the ball into Amy like they're in the backyard, and that's obviously the link-up play is going to be there.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Sean. You can just see, you know, Blahin doesn't even have to look to know where she is, you know, and there's things that Amy does, you know, she'll point one way and maybe go another, and Blahin knows exactly where she's going to go. And, you know, that's a gift to, you know, to have that connection with someone, and Armagh benefit richly from it.
And just on Croke Park, you know, a lot has been made about Amy Mackin being one of, if not the best player in the country, having never played in Croke Park. Blahin's the same. There's a load of girls coming to Croke Park on Sunday that are going to be in the exact same situation. I think there's 5 on the panel that have played in Croke Park before. What's that like, Kiva, heading into Croke Park for your first ever game on a final? Just brings its own pressure without it being your first time in Croke Park as well.
Well, look, that's your childhood dream. You know, when you start playing, that's where you want to go. That's where every child, boy, girl wants to be at the end of the day. I think it's fantastic that now the girls are getting the just rewards and that they're playing in Croke Park. And I hope that, you know, I won't need to talk about this anymore going forward, that it'll be it'll be a given, that it's a thing that always happens. It's fantastic for young girls to see their heroes playing in Croke Park. Look, it's a massive occasion. In 2005, when we got to Croke Park, oh gosh, the nerves and the whole hype around it. And, you know, when it's in Croke Park, it's just massive. You know, like I'm comparing this to when we played in Parnell Park in 2015 against Donegal in the National League final. Look, you know, it doesn't matter necessarily where you play as long as you get the result, but it's special. It's really special because everybody comes on board with it and everybody knows about it. There's so much more media hype about it. So, you know, it's very important how you manage that, you know, and teams are so well equipped now, you know, with psychologists and, you know, talking about things a lot more and how you'll manage your nerves. And, you know, we had Fionnuala McAtomney back in the day and she's a psychologist. So she had wee tips and things to give us, you know, by playing in Croke Park. And I suppose we had our daddy who played there as well. So we were lucky. He said to us, you know, take it all in, you know, there's a Garda escort and, you know, soak all the energy and make sure you look around and you see everything that's happening because it's special and you might not be back again. Well, of course, back then I didn't believe him, you know, and then we were lucky enough in 2006 to get back. But, you know, I mean, then I was never back there. So, you know, the girls were there in 2012 with the intermediate team. You know, and you know, you'd expect that those girls would be talking to the other girls that maybe haven't been there, and you'll try and play it down, but in the back of your head, like it's wow, you know, it's I know Amy Mackin, like that's where she wanted to be when she was no age, you know, and now she's there, and it's amazing. But there's still a job to do, and you don't want to get too carried away in it. Use the energy and use the nerves, but use it in a positive way. But it's you know, it's really exciting and it's great for, you know, Armagh people to get to go to Croke Park again. You know, it's brilliant for everybody in the whole county.
And is that difficult? You said about your dad, you know, telling you to take everything in and sort of enjoy it. But as you say, there's still a job to do. Is it difficult trying to find that balance that, you know, this could be your last ever time playing in Croke Park? You want to take it all and you want to enjoy it, but you still have a job to do. So is it difficult trying to find that balance?
Yeah, like I suppose I was young and naive then, Sean, because I thought we will be back. We'll be back the next year and the next year. I suppose for the older players, you know, the likes of Kelly and Caroline and, you know, maybe the likes of Sarah who maybe, you know, are a wee bit older than the others will be thinking, God, I might not be back here again. And, you know, they will soak it in probably an awful lot more. The way things are moving with the LGFA, the fact that there's more games in Croke Park, you know, you'd think that the girls won't be thinking this will be my last time here. You know, they'll be also thinking, you know, there's plenty more opportunities for me. So maybe won't get as bogged down in it as other people might.
And I suppose we've talked about Amy and Blahin, and Armagh's forward line always attracts a lot of attention, obviously, for the big scores they put up. But I suppose there's a question mark heading in this weekend over Kelly Mullen, whether she'll be available or not. She broke her leg, of course, last year in the club championship, playing for Modern Camogie. So she hasn't featured at all so far in the league. Do you think, will she spring a surprise maybe? Will she be introduced on Sunday?
Look, about what I have to say about Kelly is that her resilience is really admirable, because Kelly has had an awful lot of injuries. Look, she plays 3 sports most of the time, and there's an awful lot demanded of her. I don't know whether she will feature or not. It'd be lovely if Armagh were winning by about 10 or 15 points and they could bring her on, But in terms of where Armagh are at now, they've so much depth in their squad. So, it's not like a panic thing where, oh gosh, we don't have Kelly, we won't be able to perform. And I know behind the scenes, she keeps everybody going, and she's adopted a real pastoral kind of role, and maybe a different kind of role at times. But it's great to see she's back at training. And she'll be thinking about other things as well. It's a long season and there's championship to come, so it's important that they manage her well, and play her well for is the most important thing there. But obviously ultimately it would be a management decision, but I'd love to see Armagh up by about 10 points, and you could bring her on just for nostalgia.
I suppose we're saying about their forward line, they've got this far without Kelly and without Alex Clark, and played half the league campaign without Caroline O'Hanlon, so that obviously shows the strength and depth that they have in their panel.
Yeah, look, it does. And it's exciting because those players are all there to come back, and there's a championship season to come here as well. And, there'll be more days in Croke Park. So, in terms of, as I've said, the strength and the depth in the squad and the young players that there are there, it's great to see that there is so much versatility and competition for places, because that's really important as well. And so many different people getting on the score sheet is really refreshing to see for Armagh as well.
And that, we're talking about Kelly's injury and that, and whether she'll be back or not. We don't know. We'll not know to Sunday, but there's been a 3-week gap between the Laois game and this game. That obviously would help the likes of Kelly if she was close. 3 weeks break, get up to touch or touch and training and stuff. What's it like? But a 3-week gap, it's a long time for you to focus on a final. It's a long build up period for Armagh. So on one hand, it's good. It might get a few injured girls back and that. But if you're ready to go, waiting 3 weeks, it's a long time waiting about.
Yeah, look, that's how you got to manage your head space really there. Maybe it's a good idea to take the Tuesday after the semi-final off, so then it doesn't seem like a real long run in. But at this stage of the year, you're trying to manage players because it's injury prevention now. So, 3 weeks where it may seem long for your head, for your body and for recovery, it's probably the ample amount of time. So look, I know Armagh have, used that time really wisely, and they've great people in there to make sure that they are using the time, productively. So it's really your head you have to manage because it seems so far away. But look, they're there now. So.
And Kiva, I'll leave you on this, and we've sort of spoke about this at the start of the year about how big promotion would be for Armagh, but they're there now. They're 1 game away. They're 60 minutes away from actually doing it. What would this mean for Armagh? Not only getting to Division 1, but getting their hands on silverware this year, early in the year, and heading into the championship. They're already back-to-back Ulster champions, going in Division 2 champions into the championship. It would obviously carry massive momentum for the rest of the year.
Of course it would, yeah. Look, it'll set the tone for the whole rest of the year. This is one stepping stone in the job for this year, and hopefully there's a wee man in here to say hello. And hopefully, look, they'll do the job on Sunday and everything will go well. But look, it's really important that Armagh can seal the deal on Sunday.
Brilliant, Kiva. Hopefully Armagh can get off to a good start, obviously, for the rest of the year. If they can beat Kerry, they'll get promoted to Division 1 for next season and carry that momentum into the championship. Also, we'll be back next week, of course, with our club roundup, and hopefully get a player interview too, as well as the hurling from the hurlers as well, who get their Nicky Record campaign up and running on Sunday. Kiva, thanks very much for coming on and giving us your thoughts.
Thank you, Sean.